Hi there. I'm here again to do a little watercolor. It's going to be a winter scene, and I'm already going to pause a minute and go get my my reference to this, which is a little lesson, a little exercise with Emma Lefebvre, and like I said, it's a winter scene, and I'm going to hopefully turn it into a card front. So I will pause and go find wherever it was I left my phone, and I'm going to put this on pretty much fast forward or whatever. Maybe I might do a little bit of a voiceover, I don't know, but I'll probably either do a voiceover or I'll come back and speak with you at the end. Well, here you can already see that I lost some footage, and I'm showing you here my landscape, my trees in the background, my night sky, and my snow or white paper in the foreground. These are supposed to be kind of faded a little bit, not real clear, and there are some a little bit lighter ones and a little bit darker ones. And yeah, so those are the trees in the background there. So you saw that I put my straight line in for my first in the foreground pine tree, and I'm putting the top boughs, the top little branches pointing upward, like Emma says that we should do to make it look more like a real tree. And then she says to go on and just kind of make basically like little scribbles, and sort of start to then point your little pine boughs downward as you go. So that is what I'm doing here.
My pine boughs are a darker color, as you can see, and I find I have to keep reminding myself to make them random on each side of the tree. I want to kind of obscure my center line, but I have to remind myself to make them random. And here I'm going across the bottom with just a wet brush to make sort of like a shadow down into the snow from the tree. And I'm adding a little bit more water. I wanted to fade that out a little bit more, so I'm dabbing some of it away. It was a little bit too dark, so that's much better there. Here I'm thinking that if I maybe take the sort of general shape of my tree and bring it down a little bit, instead of just going sort of down line by line by line, if I just kind of brought it down in a sketchy sort of way, that it might make it easier for me to make the pine boughs a little bit more random on each side and not so perfectly symmetrical. They shouldn't be perfectly symmetrical. No tree is that perfect. So anyway, I tried that, bringing down in different sort of just getting the general shape down towards the bottom and so on. I think it did help a bit to make it easier for me to make them a little bit less perfect on each side or whatever. If that makes any sense to anybody. If you go to Emma's channel, and her name is Emma Lefebvre, and if you go to her channel, I will link her channel in the description box below, of course, but she will be able to explain this to you a lot better than I can. Here you see me starting to put the white snow on my pine tree, on the boughs of my pine tree. And it's just kind of a haphazard, random sort of blobbing, the snow on, where it kind of looks like maybe the tree would be collecting snow. I don't have a white gouache or a white ink, bleed-proof ink. So what I'm using here is just white watercolor, which is why I have to end up going over it, several times, because it kept just sort of fading away into a like a gray color, of course. So I just kept sort of letting it dry a little bit, and then I'd go back and add some more, and eventually it comes out looking, I think, pretty much like snow-covered trees, pine trees, but and I do end up putting some on the back trees as well, just a little bit, and I let that fade out, and I didn't actually go over that any more times. I did actually take some of the white watercolor and I added it to the bottom there where the actual white paper where the snow was, and I have a real light wash of that sort of a blue-gray color. I added some white down there basically just because I wanted to see what it would do. And I really wasn't impressed. So that's the white watercolor. So here then you can see where I did add some splatters that made it look like snowfall on it as well. And I'm taking my tape off for the reveal here. And I did get some nice splatters. What I did was just watered down the white watercolor, and just used that for my splatters. I think gouache would have been better, or white bleed-proof ink, but didn't come out too bad as far as my splatter. You can see them. You can see that there's a few snowflakes there in the background. So I'm thinking that that's pretty much it. Here I'm showing you that I did do a few extra splatters with my little gel pen. I couldn't get it dark enough with just the white watercolor, so I used my gel pen. And that's about it. So thank you so much for watching. Bye.